What's up, everybody? Ninth Jim here, bringing another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video. Today we're talking about everybody's favorite cosplayer, Mimikyu, the best Pikachu-type Pokemon that we've ever had. And I'm just kidding, because we've had a lot of good Pikachu-type Pokemon. But anyway, Mimikyu is really, really good. An awesome Pokemon. Ghost Fairy typing. Really interesting typing. Pretty reliable on for a lot of reasons. First off, it has an amazing ability that I didn't put the description into this graphic, but it's pretty simple. It's essentially it's Focus Sash, but instead of going to 1 HP, you don't take any damage, and then you pop your Disguise. So Mimikyu starts up with his head normal, and then when he gets hit, his head goes down, and then he can take damage. So the first attack that hits him, he doesn't take any damage, although when his Disguise happens, he will take a 12th of his damage, I think, which comes out to like 8 to 10%. It's like 8 to 10%, but it's not much. It is pretty unfortunate that this nerf happened from previously, because we used to be able to put Focus Sash on it, and then its Disguise would break, and it would go boop, and then not lose health, and then its Focus Sash would keep it living 2 attacks, which was insane. This Pokemon was really, really good before for that reason. Still really good Pokemon, and whoops, still a very, very good Pokemon, don't get me wrong. Still a great Trick Room setter. Still a really great offensive, speedy Pokemon that can be a reliable Trick Room reverser, which is really good. And that's the 2 builds that we're going to be talking about today. Anyway, let's talk about its typing for a second. Ghost Fairy is really interesting. Only has 2 actual weaknesses, which is Steel and Ghost, which both are prevalent in the meta, don't get me wrong, but that's not that bad compared to a lot of Pokemon with a bunch of quad weaknesses, a lot of regular weaknesses. I'm looking at you, Rhyperior. You have like 6, 4 regular and 2 quads, which is a lot. But at Ghost Fairy, we're pretty good. We're looking pretty good. And we also resist normal, which is good for a few reasons. Also resisting fighting. So we resist things like Conkeldurr, Scrafty, certain half of their attacks. Crunch is still like a problem with Scrafty. And then Snorlax, we don't take damage from Facade or the Max Replenish, which is really good. Although it typically runs Darkest Lariat, so that will be a problem sometimes. But overall, not a problem for the most part. Anyway, let's talk about its stats here for a second. So first off with speed, 96 speed is really, really good. However, when you use it on a Trick Room team, you can still give it mid speed, 0 IVs, and then a hindering, and you're sitting there at 90, which is good under Trick Room against fast teams and under mid-speed Pokemon, certain mid-speed Pokemon, which is actually pretty good here. So we'll actually pull up the stats that I have for it. Let me move my head. Keep moving the wrong thing. We'll be over top Mimikyu again. Anyway, looking at this, it's pretty good. So for our high speed, we are over a lot of things. We're faster than a lot of Pokemon. Arcanine, fully invested, positive, Indeedee Male, Galarian Darmanitan, super good stuff. Overspeeding Excadrill, so if they're not using Sand Rush, then we outspeed it, which is super good. Outspeeding Form Change Rotoms that aren't Scarved, which is awesome. A couple of things that do outspeed us in our high speed form is Vileplume, with the Chlorophyll and Dragapult. Any Dragapult is just a really, really fast Pokemon. So that is a problem. And then with our 0 speed, we are underspeeding a lot of Pokemon, like a lot of the faster and average speed Pokemon. All of the ones in the left, we are outspeeding all of them at 160, 150 range. We are at 90 with hindering, which is pretty decent for Trick Room, although we are still overspeeding, so we'll play under Trick Room. After all the big sweepers, Rhyperior, Torkoal, Snorlax, all of those Pokemon, and also uninvested Tyranitar, uninvested Aegislash, Galarian Weezing, Grimmsnarl, Scrafty, and Conkeldurr. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So we're on a medium speed here. 96, if we play uninvested, we can actually outspeed a lot of stuff, which is pretty good. So yeah, not a bad speed. It's really fast for when you're trying to play fast. If you play it on a team just to be able to reverse Trick Room, It is very good. So anyway, looking into our defenses, it's very mediocre. Our actual defenses are good. Our defense at 80 is not bad, and special defense at 105 is really good, but our HP is really lackluster at 55. Even when you Dynamax this Pokemon, it will still have really low defense HP. What am I saying? Getting tripped up on my words. Anyway, even if you Dynamax this Pokemon, which you will sometimes, potentially, depending on how the game is going, you will be very, very weak to that. Although this is patched up with our ability Disguise, which is a very good ability, like I was saying, using that. And it's another interesting thing that now we don't use Focus Sash, so we get to use another item for our support builds. We're going to be using Babbery Berry, and our attacking builds, we use Life Orb. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get into the first set. Oh, wait, and attack at 90, by the way. Awesome attack stat. I completely glanced over that. Anyway, let's go ahead into our first build, which is our attacking set. We're running Disguise, Life Orb, of course, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, Trick Room, and Protect. These can definitely, some of it can be swapped out. I like having Trick Room on this Pokemon, being able to play against these slower teams, things that are going to sweep you with Rhyperior or Torkoal, Pokemon like that. Bring out Dusclops, you kill that, or Bronzong, Hatterene, Indeedee, whatever they are. You kill their Trick Room setter, and then you can reverse Trick Room with your own Trick Room, which is really, really powerful. Being able to partner it with strong Pokemon, things like Duraludon, Dragapult, Arcanine, all the Gyarados, all those kind of Pokemon, and a support or another powerful Pokemon, something like a Rotom, in support, like a support Arcanine, something like that, and Gastrodon. Having Trick Room on your team gives you also a Trick Room potential, Trick Room mode to go along with that, bringing something like a Conkeldurr or a Gastrodon, or even Rhyperior if you think you could sweep with Trick Room. But it is really good having a Trick Room mode as well as being able to stop Trick Room, and that's kind of the whole idea of this Mimikyu set, is that we're able to play without Trick Room, being really fast, Life Orb being able to do a lot of damage, Play Rough does a lot of damage, Shadow Claw is really strong, and having Protect on the Pokemon is just Protect. Like, we just play it. If you don't want to play it, I have a couple of filler moves there in the middle. Swords Dance, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Woodhammer for coverage, Taunt and Will-O-Wisp for disruption. Will-O-Wisp is really good in this format, being able to stop physical Pokemon kind of in the tracks. And then Swords Dance, since we have Disguise as a buffer turn, we can Swords Dance up and then start attacking really heavy. That's another option as well. Anyway, into our EVs, we have Max Attack, Max Speed with Jolly Nature, giving us plus speed, minus special attack, since we're not using special attack anyway. Just being really fast, really strong, throwing out very high power stab moves, Ghost and Fairy, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, very, very powerful attacks. And under Trick Room, and we can reverse Trick Room to let all of our Pokemon be at their full potential, just hitting really hard and hitting really fast. So that is the idea of the first build, being able to reverse Trick Room or play very, very hard. Anyway, on to our next build here is the Trick Room, actual Trick Room Mimikyu. This is able to set up Trick Room and then play fine under it. Like I said, speed at 0 IVs, a hindering nature. For that, we're using Brave to plus attack minus speed. And then we're also using Babbery Berry. Like I was saying, this helps you live some key KOs. I have a couple of damage calcs. Being able to have Excadrill attack into you with Max Steel Spike and live. Mold Breaker Excadrill, that is, because Mold Breaker Excadrill gets through Disguise, which is very, very powerful for them. If they can get an Oko on the Mimikyu before you set up Trick Room, or before you even think about setting up Trick Room, that's a really, really big deal for that Drillbur, for Excadrill. Anyway, talking about its set here, Trick Room, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak. I like Shadow Sneak as an option on this Pokemon, being able to beat the Pokemon that underspeed you, hitting something really hard, and then priority Shadow Sneak, being able to finish the KO or finish with getting a little bit of damage so that your partner Pokemon can finish them off. Just things like that. And then we also have Shadow Claw and Play Rough. You can definitely switch Shadow Claw out for something like Will-O-Wisp. That's definitely an idea. Will-O-Wisp is very commonly played on this Pokemon. You can put Will-O-Wisp in either of these sets, and it's very, very powerful as well. And then, like I said, Woodhammer is just another option for coverage if you don't have any grass on your team, if you're afraid of things like Gastrodon or something like that. that is a very good option as well. And anyway, into our EV spread of this, we made it bulky, so we gave it HP at 252 instead of the speed, and then our hindering will be on speed, so we're brave, so we're plus attack minus speed. Just to be as slow as possible, we hit 90 speed, which is not bad. So under Trick Room, we get to outspeed all of the mid to above average Pokemon: Dragapult, Gyarados, Arcanine, Galarian, Darmanitan, Excadrill, Form Change, Rotom. All of these Pokemon we can outspeed under Trick Room and underspeed. And we also hit without Trick Room. We get to overspeed all of Trick Room sweepers, and all Trick Room setters: Scrafty, Conkeldurr, Aegislash, Galarian, Weezing, Grimmsnarl. Those are just a couple of examples here that I have, which is pretty good that we can get around all of those things. And with this Pokemon, you can kind of control the game's speed with the being able to set up Trick Room or reverse Trick Room if you want to. So that's really cool. Anyway, here I have some calcs before I end this video. For our attack boy, here we have I put myself down here next to Mimikyu. What's up, Mimikyu? Alright, so anyway, for our attack boy, this is going to be our 252 into attack and 252 into speed with the Jolly nature, so we're not plus. And I'll just show off a couple of things that we live and die to. So Excadrill has 252 attack, and no item to help that. It's usually going to be running Focus Sash, or Assault Vest, or the Life Orb. So this is without Life Orb. Excadrill is hitting 64 to 76, so even if it did have Life Orb, it would not be killing us here anyway. Guaranteed 2-hit KOing us. If it's Mold Breaker, then it's not even going to kill us after they break Disguise. If it has Life Orb, it would kill us through Disguise because of our 10 to 12% that we take from popping our Disguise. But yeah, so if Excadrill uses Life Orb, it hits us first and then it kills us. It might happen. But if it's Mold Breaker, it won't kill us the first time, which is really, really important for this Pokemon. And then we also have Max Steel Spike here, doing 103 to 123%. So, yeah. So if it is Mold Breaker Excadrill, it will OHKO us through our Disguise with Max Steel Spike, which is going to happen a lot of times. So if you see an Excadrill coming out, might want to be a little wary, at least when you see it come out, and if it's Mold Breaker, it says it immediately. It shows breaking the mold, which is very, very good for us to know that. So, yeah, be careful of that. And on our 252 HP, we also have some Excadrill things. With Babbery Berry, we guaranteed live the Iron Head, and then we don't guaranteed live the Max Steel Spike with 252 HP and with Babbery Berry. But that is 252 plus attack, so that is only if it's Adamant nature, which a lot of the time they'll be Jolly, or if they're Assault Vest, then they will be plus defense, something like Bold, or something along those lines. So we're probably going to be living most Excadrills, but Mold Breaker Excadrill is by far the scariest thing that this Pokemon ever runs into. So then for our attack boy, we also have Ferrothorn, Calx. Gyro Ball will almost always OHKO us, and after our Disguise, it will guaranteed OHKO us. So make sure to keep that in mind. Ferrothorn is kind of scary. And then for our attack boy, we can OHKO the Grimmsnarl with a Play Rough, 252 attack, Life Orb, Mimikyu, hitting 109 to 130%, guarantee OHKOing the Grimmsnarl. If it sets up Reflect, then we can't. But if you start off with something like Duraludon Grimmsnarl or Duraludon Mimikyu, either way you're going to knock it out. You're going to be able to Flash Cannon knock out the Grimmsnarl unless they set up Reflect, or if they set up Light Screen, then he can't kill, the Duraludon can't kill. But if they set up the Light Screen, then you get to kill it with Mimikyu. So really you just have to make the read and figure out what is actually going to go through. And then for our 252, we have one last calc, actually two calcs, but one is attacking it and one is taking the attack. So first off, we have 252 plus, meaning 252 Adamant Scrafty's Crunch going into our Mimikyu. We know that we're not going to die to that. 43 to 51%. They even have a chance to 2-hit KO, but that's the best that they got, and that's even through disguise. If they have a disguise, if they pop our disguise, then they'll 2-hit KO after, but that's 3 attacks into our Pokemon, so we're looking pretty good at that. And then our -1 252 plus attack Mimikyu. This is for the wrong build. This is the wrong build. That should be on the other side, actually. Oh, because that's 252 plus attacking Mimikyu. So, yeah. But -1 from the Intimidate, and then 252 plus attack Mimikyu. Play rough Oko's the boy. A good chance to Oko the Scrafty. And that'll be happening on the attack build because we are not using the 252 investment into that. But yeah, overall, that doesn't matter. Oh, wait. Actually, I'm going crazy. We are 252 attack. Our investments are 252 into attack and 252 into HP. I'm going crazy. I don't know. It's pretty late. But we are -1 after Intimidate, and then so you always win the Mimikyu v Scrafty, which is something that's pretty relevant. Scrafty's kind of not everywhere, but it's there. And that I don't think goes through Assault Vest, so that's if they're playing like the eject button or something along those lines. So they'll be using Assault Vest most of the time. I don't know. So anyway, that is about it for Mimikyu. This Pokemon is really awesome overall. This Pokemon is a great Pokemon. Great for stopping and setting Trick Room. Great for attacking under a Trick Room and outside of Trick Room. Great for reversing. That's my favorite part of this Pokemon is you put it on a team with a lot of threats, and then you don't lose to the Trick Room teams, which is good. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Mimikyu is awesome. As always, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. And also, do you like this new kind of format? Do you like it? Did you like it before with the Cerebi and Pokemon Showdown? Or do you like it now with the slides? I don't know. It takes me a little longer to do this, but I think it looks very nice. So I want to know what you guys think. I'll always do what you guys think is better. So definitely comment that down below if you like this new format or the old format better for guides. Anyway, that's going to be it. That's actually it this time. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good night or morning or whenever you watch this. Have a great one. So thank you.